Hi, everyone. Kyle Hoffman from the USDA Mid-Atlantic reaching out. Today with me, I'm very excited to share with us today from JTCC, Coach Ali Agnamba. He is the Senior Director of Player Development. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. We've got a fun, exciting set of questions here that we definitely want to make sure that we cover everything. Get to know you a little bit, know a little bit about your philosophies and teachings. So if you don't mind, I'm going to dive right in.
Sure.
So first and foremost, tell me a little bit about how you were introduced to tennis and how you ended up becoming a coach.
Growing up in Togo, West Africa, obviously the first sport for any young boy was a soccer. But for whatever reason, I chose to play tennis because I want to be different. And it also happened that one of the biggest tennis club back home is walking distance from where I live. So it make it easier for me to join and start and just hopefully trying to be as good as I can. So that's how I get involved in it. And it just happened also that my brothers also played tennis at the time. So it was easy for me to skip soccer and then get started with tennis.
Awesome. Well, and I think there's a lot of people that are really glad you went that route. So yeah. Now with that, tell me a little bit about your coaching philosophy.
For me, it's very straightforward. I always want, I know tennis is an individual sport, but when you have a kids working in and wanting to play tennis, I always want them to be themselves, to have fun, and they just to enjoy as much as they can at very young age. It's very important. And for me, I always try to make them a tennis players as early as possible because tennis is it can be fun, it can be difficult, especially at a very young age. If you cannot exchange the ball back and forth, there's a time where, those kids feel like, oh, they have to do other sports. So they can get them to become a tennis player. I think for me, that's the key to get them engaged for the sport for as long as it takes. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, recently with our USDA National Conference, one of your colleagues, Megan Moulton-Levy, she had mentioned the player development plan that you all do at JTCC. But talk to us a little bit about the mindset behind the PDB plan at JTCC.
The PDP, the player development plan. As you know, most people know tennis, like I said, is an individual sport, and every individual has a different need at a different time of their development. So the PDP, in a way, is designed for us to individualize each player needs. So it's a plan that we put together. Usually for each player, coaches, you can have a plan for 3 to 6 months, depending on what you try to achieve or what you're working on. So it's something that the coach and player are aware of what it is that I need to be taken care of during the training. And the PDP serve, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the critical piece of players' development. So knowing what you're working on and knowing what you try to achieve during the training, and the PDP also extend to tournament scheduling, because it's very critical that a lot of parents follow other parents' kids' tournament schedule in a way. So with the PDP designed for each players, that kind of put us in better position to let these parents know this is your kid's development plan. This is what we're working on. This is why we have this tournament in place to really get them going. So PDP for me, I also help the coaches to also be able to know on a daily basis what the players need to be achieving when it comes to the training at home during the training and where they go out to the tournament, so they know on a monthly basis what are the tournament they're about to play nationally or sessionally or internationally. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's hugely important for, especially for coaches that may be watching this video, is that a lot of times we get caught up into our day-to-day being on court and whatnot, but just having everybody on the same page, knowing where the player is in their own personal progressions, there's, I would think, a lot more buy-in too from players and parents, just kind of knowing what's being translated from on the court and knowing which tournaments to play, because you're still relaying all that through the PDP as well. Am I correct?
Yes, 100%. Everything, every detail about the training. I mean, technical part of it, tactical part, and then the physical part of it. All in that PDP. That it's not just, it's everything, but it's not so much with. Is the players confused? By no means. It's very straightforward. So it's very helpful. I think it helped us a lot to achieve a lot of things with our players.
And I think one thing that I took away, even hearing Megan talk about that too, and I never really thought about this as a coach, is a lot of times I'm telling what the players, what the next steps were. But one thing she talked a lot about was it's player driven in terms of their own plans, which I just thought was a light bulb for myself, just saying, what buy-in from a player when they're really the ones developing this more than the coach telling them, which I thought was really awesome thing that you guys are doing there. So one of the things that to kind of go into, since we are kind of wrapping up 2022, is just talk about maybe some of your personal goals as a coach going into the new year.
I mean, it's very straightforward. I mean, right now, I think one of the biggest things leading to next year, of course, I want to help as many players to win a lot of matches in the sessional, and also during the national tournaments. And now that we also have a lot of players competing at the ITF level, International Junior Tournament. So my goal right now is just try to get as many players ready, as many players to go out there and compete, and hopefully they win more than they are losing. So that's the goal. And also, I mean, in my role as a senior director of player development, I also have to make sure that looking forward to help some of my colleague coaches to make sure the program is going the way it's supposed to, and hopefully the players develop quite rapidly, and hopefully that will turn out to be another successful year, hopefully.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of the personal goals for the players is to win a lot of matches as well. So it sounds like you're going to have a lot of players on the same page with you from that aspect. 100%. But one player that's currently with you that I think a lot of people would like to know a little bit more about is this young lady named Robin Montgomery. For those that may not be as familiar, have heard that name and not sure where from, Robin just came off of winning the U.S. Open juniors singles and doubles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she did. I mean, look, and I've been coaching Robin for quite a long time, since she was 6 years old. And I can tell you that she grew a lot as a person, as well as a tennis player. And I mean, as we spent a lot of time on the road together, competing in some of the national and international tournament, and then also at the junior Grand Slam level. I mean, she really, she's a hard working individual, and she always, looking for a way to be better than everybody else, and which I think is a very big deal. You don't want a player that is not into winning, right? So she loves to compete, and she can problem solve. She does a lot of things that really, for a young player, it's it's crazy. I mean, you can put what into how much she can do on the court, but also being on the road with her, knowing her, being with her for so many years, I can tell when something good is about to happen. Just the way we've been training and then leading to some of the tournament, and her mindset going to some of those tournaments kind of, I can tell that something's about to happen. So yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of years together, so we know each other in a lot of ways. So definitely, I think she's a she's a great tennis player.
Well, and, I think on that, if people are looking to place their bets on that, they might have to check with you first if they're expecting some big things out of the tournaments. But all kidding aside on that, but it sounds like you've been coaching Robin pretty much from the beginning with that. I mean, 6 is a pretty young start, and seeing her progressions over the years. But I know you've touched on this a little bit, but what are some of the qualities you see in Robin as a coach that that you could tell that was going to make her pretty successful?
I mean, her desire to want to learn, and her commitment to getting better, and her ability to be able to adapt in a different situation on the tennis court. I think is something that I mean, the way she does it, sometimes, I mean, I don't know if it has anything to do with what we've been doing, but she can problem solve. And then we put her in any situation, she will find a way to come through. It may not always be good all the time, but most of the time she goes in the tennis court. I mean, that you're going to compete against someone that is not going to give you a easy win. You're going to have to fight for it. I mean, she's going to make you work for everything. So yeah, I think that those are the stuff that you can't really teach, right? Somebody at such a young age wanted to learn, get better than everybody on and off the court. I mean, I think she has it all.
Yeah, and I think for anybody that's seen her play too, I mean, there's just times that you can just tell she just really wants it. And that is as a coach, I'm sure is not something that's easy to be able to teach, but it's something that you highly welcome when you're out there doing games and drills and watching her competing at the highest levels. So I'm actually going to show a clip here in just a second of Robin from a young age, and a couple of things that I want to point out from this is, and get some feedback from you here, Coach, in just a second. So I'm going to pull that up for everybody to see. And then we'll go right into that. So I pull it up.
Hi, my name is Robin. I'm from Washington, D.C. Ready?
All right.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I want to make sure that we kind of cover with this, and what a great video, and thank you to your colleagues at JTCC for sharing with us, is, Robin obviously started at a young age working with you, but some key takeaways there from watching her, and pushing her game forward.
Look, I mean, if you really follow the video, she started with the Red Bull, and then from there went to orange, green, and yellow. So I think the biggest takeaway from that video was that she went through all the progression of that any young tennis players, I mean, need to do in term of how they can easily improve the game, right? Because tennis is such a big sport. The courts are bigger, and when our under 10 players play on the same size tennis court that the professional players are playing on. So if you see the video, then not only the court is reduced, and then the ball, the type of ball that she was using when she was 6 or 7 is different than the ball that she was using when she was 8 and 9. So I think that's one thing that I believe in. It made a big difference in her game because we never skipped any steps. She went through the red, orange, and the green. And if I can even remember her first national championship in the under 12 that she played when she was, I think, 9 going 10 years old. She was training at home with the green dot ball. So, and she went on to play at the national clay court championship that year with 26 inches racket, which to control the ball with players that competed at the national level for so many years before her. She was actually there, I mean, going head to head with them. So I think, if I, as a coach, one thing that I would really recommend that most people do, don't be afraid to keep these kids, these players on those balls longer if it's needed, because it can only make the game better. So that's one thing that I really like about the video, that you see somebody, if you see Robin now, where she's at right now, what she's able to accomplish. I mean, I don't think there's any time during her development that we felt like, myself, I felt like, oh, I have to move this girl to play yellow because everybody is playing yellow. So I just make sure that, the progression is the key for any player development, I mean, to be successful. I mean, we have a situation where parents and coaches sometimes they're trying to get ahead, trying to go too fast, and it end up being a problem for the kids somewhere down the road. So I think this is a testament about when you follow the progression properly, and there's a chance that the player will grow up to be successful. We cannot tell how successful they're going to be, but the chance of them learning the right skills and when understanding how to play the point, because the court and the balls allow them to do that at a very young age. So I think the video, I mean, it shows a lot of things that we as a coaches and parents also to realize that the ball doesn't, the ball doesn't decide who your kid is really. It's just a way to learn the game the right way. So I think that's what I really love about that video.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of great advice on that too. I mean, it's not a race through the colored ball system to try to get to yellow. I mean, everybody's development is a little bit different with it too. Mm-hmm. And personally, one of the other things I really like about that video from watching it is, and curious on your comment back on, she's giving a lesson at a pretty young age to even a younger player. What's the mindset behind that?
Look, one thing that we also do a lot at the center is having our players giving back to other players. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're part of the program, you're gonna have to teach somebody else that is below you. So I think you know, as you know, when you teaching, you're learning as well. So I think that give back thing that we are having at the center. If one of the other things that we realize about the give back is not just this kid going back to teach, right? So they teaching, but at the same time, they're becoming a better teacher, a better human being as well, helping somebody that need the help. So I think that's that's a very big, in my opinion. Yep.
Yeah, and I would think the best way to really understand something is if you can teach someone else how to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
really a lot of great takeaways from that video, and really kind of seeing Robin's progression over the years as well. But let's hit the fast forward button a little bit here. Rolling into this past summer, and obviously we talked about this in the beginning of she had a lot of success at the US Open Juniors. But describe the feelings and emotions and what it meant to you to watch Robin win those events.
No, I mean, look, for me personally as a coach, I mean, I was so happy to see her win, not just singles, but also the doubles, right? And then if I have to take you back to New York a little bit, we were there for 3 weeks. And because she was in the qualifier of the women's draw, and that didn't go very well. She lost first round, and obviously she was very upset. And she has to play the women's doubles, and they had her and her partner had a great win in the first round, and then had a tough loss in the second round. So now we are out of the women's, both singles and doubles. Now we have the junior. It's not going to start until a week from the day that she lost. You can only imagine being in with the COVID protocol, being in the same hotel room for 3 weeks and going back and forth. It became a little tiring. But one thing that I think I give myself and Robert credit, we knew that we just have one more thing to take care of, just to go out there and then try to play one match at a time in the junior draw. So I know Robin, I mean, in the junior world, everybody know who she is. So no matter who she's about to play, it's going to be a tough match, because that's how it is when you're ranked higher or people know who you are. They come ready to compete against you. So I kind of knew after the first 2 matches that we're up to something good, because she won first and the second round were a little bit shaky because she was nervous going in. And as she get through those rounds, and then she play another player, a girl that she lost to 2 previous time in the quarter. And I mean, going into that match, I can tell that she doesn't want to lose that match to that same girl. And the way she started that match from the beginning to the end, I knew that same feelings that I always have when we're on the road, that something's about to happen. That match was it for me. I knew that something's about to happen. It's just a matter of how every day is going to go. I mean, just going to go there and just take care of business. But I mean, look, she deserved it. She was hard, and she was playing under a lot of pressure. But I think she did exactly what she has to do, or what she does best: just go out and compete, and then hope for the best. And I think that's exactly what happened in New York.
Well, and I know we're all very Mid-Atlantic proud of her and of your team. It was awesome to see, and seeing all the success and all the hard work pay off. And I think we got a real testament of how mentally tough she is too, because like you said, it's going through the COVID protocols and everything. It's little bit of sitting around and waiting and playing
Yep.
and then not playing. I mean, that's it takes its toll on players. So I'm really glad to see her kind of break through with that and bring back some hardware back to the section. So
Sure.
that being said, we're going to end on kind of a fun note for you, Coach. And in your words, in 3 words, describe how you describe tennis in the Mid-Atlantic.
I mean, definitely the tennis growing for sure. And then I think we are part of one session that is very diverse. And I mean, we have a great track record. I mean, we have some decent amount of players that come out of this session that they're still doing a lot of good things, not just Robin. And obviously we have also that girl that I kind of forgot her name a little bit. She won the 16 and in San Diego this past summer. That I mean, I think definitely the session's growing. It's diverse. Our track record around the country and around the world, it's definitely something to be proud of. And we you know, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Well, we're very proud of you and very proud of your team, and you know, very proud of a lot of our providers and players that are doing a lot of great things, not just at the section level, but you know, nationally and internationally. So you know, we encourage everybody to continue to keep up the good work. And for those that are tuning in and watching this video, we appreciate your time for watching today. Coach, we appreciate your time, you know, telling us a little bit about the background of your coaching and your time with Robin and players at JTCC. We encourage everybody to make sure you guys check out the Coach Resource Library for more of these types of videos. And then, of course, the USTA Mid-Atlantic YouTube page. Thanks, everyone, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.